Hello and welcome to Elecspo, and it's time to talk about Wolves. I mean Portugal. No wait, Wolves. Whatever, they're both the same thing. Nowadays, if you've got a Portuguese passport or just like peri peri chicken, you'll be smuggled off to Molineux and forced to represent Wolves in their famous old gold shirt. But what would happen if Wolverhampton Wanderers basically just became the Portuguese national team? Well, using Football Manager 2021, that's what's going to happen. Anyone who isn't Portuguese has been released by the club, and in their place we've got a plethora of stars. Arriving at Molineux we've got Cristiano Ronaldo, Joao Felix, Bruno Fernandes, Ricardo Pereira, Pepe, Gonçalo Guedes, Andre Silva, Ruben Dias, the returning Diogo Jota, Joao Cancelo, Bernardo Silva, Renato Sanchez, Rafael Guerreiro, Francisco Trincao, William Carvalho, Andre Gomes, Nuno Mendes and Anthony Lopes. Christ, that was hard to say without taking breath. On top of all the Portuguese players that are already at the club. I've added a few extra £1 million in at the bank to cover the wages, and each player's got a contract until 2023. And to ensure no one leaves or someone from a different country starts playing, I've enforced a transfer ban until July 2023. So how will FC Wolves of Portugal get on in the Premier League? Let's find out. Right, here we are at the start of the simulation, the 27th of July 2020, and Wolves have become FC Portugal. They're still called Wolves, but they've just got every single Portuguese player they could possibly imagine. Well, not every player. Enough, they've got a whole squad. From the projected lineup you can see it is a plethora of Portuguese talent, a myriad of players who belong to the 5th best country in the world. That's where Portugal currently are in the FIFA rankings at the time of recording. So based on that, I mean, you'd like to think they should be pushing for the Champions League. The media thinks they'll only come 7th though, still Nuno the manager, and as you can see the transfer ban until the summer of 2023. They've got a whole new team, they've got Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, Ruben Dias, stars all over the pitch, as well as the players they've already got, Ruben Neves, Neto, Pedence, all the gang. Let's simulate a year into the future, let's see how Wolves, or just the Portuguese national team, do in the Premier League. Right, here we are a year into the future, the 6th of June 2021, and just as the media predicted, Wolves have come 7th. I'm going to be honest there, before I look at anything, I'm quite disappointed with that. I mean, considering the team Wolves have got at the minute, they've got to come 7th even without Ronaldo and Ruben Dias. But alas, that's as good as they've done. They've came 7th with 63 points, a point behind Tottenham, so not far off breaking into the top 6. But basically, they've just been the best of the rest. And what that means is that they're going to be playing Europa League conference football next season, which is great. Yeah, well done Portugal. You've really impressed me here. Cristiano Ronaldo, clearly the best player, 3 goals shy of Sergio Aguero for the Golden Boot on his return to the Premier League. So Ronaldo, at least he's done well. But let's check Wolves out in a bit more detail. Let's see what has been going on at Molineux. And first things first, there's been a change of manager. They've still stuck with someone Portuguese, but Nuno is gone, and in his place is Leonardo Jardim. What happened to Nuno? He got the sack on the 3rd of January and replaced by Leonardo Jardim. Let's quickly look at the table, see where Wolves were when Nuno got the sack. Because I mean, considering they came 7th, that seems quite harsh, and it's where they were expected to come. We'll click on the right thing though, that'll help. Wolves. So as we can see, they've had to climb up the division. It was a slowish start. They were in the bottom half. They were even as low as 14th. I mean, we'll not count the first couple of games because it doesn't really matter. But on the 3rd of January, they were beaten 1-0 by Leicester City, leaving them in 11th place. And that was what got Nuno Espirito Santo his P45. It sent him on his way. And in his place, Leonardo Jardim, who's taken the club up to 7th, which was the highest they got all season. So Jardim's had a solid start for Wolves. Cristiano Ronaldo is now the skipper. Obviously Conor Cody not allowed there because he isn't Portuguese. Cristiano Ronaldo the new skipper. Let's see if there's been any success in the cups at least. League Cup, they were beaten in the semi-final by Liverpool, so that's not a bad start. FA Cup, semi-final again, beaten by Chelsea on penalties. Bruno Fernandes, of course he scored in the game and in the shootout. Bruno Penaldes, as he's terribly known on Twitter. That's an awful name for him. I mean, he's a wonderful player. He does love a penalty though. How come he gets to take penalties ahead of Cristiano Ronaldo? That is some balls from Bruno Fernandes to say he's taking the penalties over him. So anyway, that 1-0 defeat, Pepe got sent off. That was the game that got Nuno the sack. And after that, Wolves were pretty damn brilliant. I mean, this run here is quite astounding. They're a little bit of a blip. Not even a blip, it was just a few draws. And one of them was against Man City, so that doesn't really matter. But after Nuno arrived, he only lost 3 Premier League games. He got beat off Liverpool, beat off Man United, and lost to Arsenal. So Leonardo Jardim looks like he's in a very good position to take the Portuguese national team forward. Let's check out the players. I mean, Nuno loved his 3 at the back, but under Jardim it is 4-2-3-1. Good to see. The best player has been Cristiano Ronaldo. What a shot. Well, actually, that's a lie. He's been tied with Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva also got a 7.74 overall. He got 14 goals and 7 assists, whereas Ronaldo got 22 goals and 8 assists. Just behind them, Bruno Fernandes, 13 goals and 11 assists. Then you've got Ruben Neves. They've had a few players out on loan. Andres Silva's at Valencia. Nelson Semedo has been sent to Porto. William Carvalho, Sevilla. Daniel Pedence, he's been allowed to leave, go to Aston Villa on loan. I'm surprised they've been letting these players leave on loan, considering the limited options they've got. Pedro Neto's not really had a lot of football. 16 substitute appearances. Joao Moutinho and his aging body, he's had limited football. Nuno Mendes, just shy of a 7. He's played a lot. Pepe, just shy of a 7 as well. Played a lot considering he's 38 years old. I mean, he's an awful bloke, but what a player he is. That performance he put in against Juventus the other week was absolutely outstanding. But the Wolves players have been pretty damn good. Most of them averaging above a 7. Out of interest, let's see who hasn't really played. Trincao hasn't played a lot of football. Neither does Anthony Lopez, but that's not really a surprise. I kind of just added him to be a backup goalkeeper. Andre Gomez hasn't even started a single game. So that's disappointing for him. You wish he just stayed at Everton. But no, he's been forced to play for Wolves. Probably just spending his days in the reserves because there's no one else there. Ruben Neves, the best player at the club, who was already there. Fabio Silva, how's he got on? I can't even see his name sticking out. Where the hell is Fabio Silva? There's the man sitting in the under-23s. Only 3 Premier League appearances. I mean, it's probably all he would have got in reality if Jimenez hadn't got injured. Obviously, Jimenez has had to leave in this simulation. But after one season, Wolves have came 7th. They're back in Europe, but it's the Europa Conference League. Leonardo Jardim now the manager, Cristiano Ronaldo the skipper. That is one season down. Let's go into season 2. Can they kick on? Can they improve on 7th place? Let's find out. Okay, here we are, the 12th of June 2022, the end of season 2. And before we go to the Premier League table, you'll see there is one job available, and it's Wolves. Leonardo Jardim has gone. Has he been sacked? Let's find out. Yes, he got the sack on the 26th of May. So we are 2 seasons in, and Wolves have sacked 2 managers. They've came 7th in the Premier League for a 2nd season in a row. This time they got more points, they got 67, but it wasn't enough for them to qualify for Europe. They've stayed 7th, 3 goals behind Tottenham, who got into the Europa Conference League in 6th. Obviously Leeds won a cup to get them into Europe, which is what's cost Wolves here. But to be fair to Wolves and the Portuguese national side, they were only 3 points behind Man United, who came 3rd. I think that's exceptionally harsh on Leonardo Jardim, who's only been 1 win away from getting Champions League football at Molineux. At the top of the stats, there's no one of a Wolves persuasion until you get to the yellow cards, where Ruben Dias got 14 of them. That's nothing really to be proud of. Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously still the skipper. We know they haven't won any cups. Let's see how they got on though. The Europa Conference League, they got to the final where they were beaten on penalties. They drew 2-2 in the final with Sevilla, and they were beaten on penalties. It was Renato Sanchez who missed, the man who's rebuilt his career since he was passing to the advertising hoardings at Swansea City. But it's a defeat in the final. Yet again, Cristiano Ronaldo didn't take a penalty, unless he'd been taken off at that point. Otherwise it doesn't make a lot of sense. He hadn't played very well actually. In the other cups, FA Cup, they made it to the quarter-final, beaten by Man United. In the League Cup, they were also beaten in the quarter-final, this time by Arsenal. If we have a look at the start of the season, it was a great start for Wolves, including the Europa Conference League. They were playing brilliantly, a lot of wins, the odd draw, but not a lot of defeats. They lost to Everton on the 29th of August. After that, they wouldn't taste defeat again until the League Cup quarter-final exit in December. So it was a wonderful start. At that point, they probably thought, yeah, we're getting Champions League football. But as the fixtures piled up, the results became a lot more inconsistent. There were more defeats for Wolves and Jardim. They only lost 9 games overall, which is the third least in the entire division, but they got 10 draws, which is basically what has cost them, and which is why they've came 7th for the second season in a row, and this time won't be playing European football. This time, Cristiano Ronaldo out front on his own, playing on the left of the three-pronged attack. Well, there's a striker as well, so is it a 4-pronged attack? No, it's 3 prongs, you can't have 4 prongs. He's playing on the left wing, let's just call it what it is. Playing on the left wing, 30 goals, 3 assists, an average rating of 7.8, just pipping Bruno Fernandes. He's had an exceptional season. In terms of goals and assists, he's been the best player. 15 goals, 22 assists, an average rating of 7.78, just putting him ahead of Bernardo Silva. William Carvalho's done well as well. Looks like he's been playing centre-back. I mean, he's a bit of a powerhouse, so that's no surprise. I mean, when I was assembling this team, I wasn't really thinking who's going to play left-back, who's going to play right-back. I was more thinking who's good in Portuguese. But William Carvalho's slotting in at centre-back, and he's doing damn good. They're going to have to be one-man light next season as Pepe is retiring, which isn't surprising. He's nearly eligible for a bus pass. Fabio Silva into the first team now. Didn't start a single game, but that's fine. Andre Gomez at least got 1 start, a few more appearances. I think one of the things I've noticed from this is that a lot of players are actually getting a lot more football because it's got such a streamlined squad. It's only Fabio Silva and Andre Gomez who haven't played a lot. I mean, still 16 sub appearances, 13 for Gomez. It's a fair bit of football. But out of the players who were already at Wolves, obviously Neves did really good in season 1. He's done pretty well in season 2, an average rating of 7.15. You've got 2 top right backs competing, Semedo and Pereira. Guerrero on the left side getting in ahead of Nuno Mendes. So on a personal level, there's a lot of star players in this Wolves team. A lot of players who are playing very well. Diogo Jota got 23 goals, 13 for Joao Felix. But it just hasn't related to enough wins to get them into the Champions League. This is the second of 3 seasons, 2 in a row in which they've came 7th. They're going to have a new manager for season 3. Don't know who it'll be. Maybe they'll go for someone who isn't Portuguese. That doesn't matter. They can have Gareth Southgate if they want. Someone like... Christ, my mind's just gone blank. The only manager I can think of in the world is Roy Hodgson. Well, yeah, why not? Why don't they get Roy Hodgson in? Anyone, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be Portuguese. But can they, whoever it is, take Wolves higher than 7th? Because to be honest, at the minute, considering this is the whole Portuguese national team, the one that won the Nations League, they won the Euros, they've got a plethora of players, particularly in a quality young generation coming through. And 7th is the best they can do in the Premier League. Let's go into season 3, let's see if they can improve on that. If not, I'm going to be pretty damn disappointed. Okay, here we are, the third and final season we're going to look at, the 11th of June 2023. And Wolves have gone backwards. This is wildly disappointing. I mean, I know they've got Asian players, the likes of Ronaldo, Pepe obviously retired. But there's a lot of young players who should be getting better. And instead, Wolves have gone backwards. 2 7th place finishes. Last season there was only 3 points off the Champions League. This time they've came 9th. Only getting 59 points, nowhere near European football. No one at the top of the charts in terms of stats. It has been a disappointing season for Wolves, with Didier Deschamps the manager. In fact, he's the second manager they've had this season. First it was Luis Enrique who came in. They got a big name to replace Leonardo Jardim. He was sacked on Boxing Day, which is pretty harsh. Christmas dinner hadn't even gone down and he was out of the job. In came Didier Deschamps, the France manager, and he hasn't been able to save the Wolves ship. Let's see how they've been doing in the Premier League, considering they only came 9th. Christ, at one point, they were down in 16th. They were competing to just survive in the Premier League. This has gone disastrously wrong for Wolves. Have they at least had some cup joy? Obviously no European football. They were knocked out of the League Cup straight away in the 3rd round by Chelsea. FA Cup, they made it to the quarters, beaten by Arsenal. So it's not as if they've had a fixture pile up. They've just been downright bad. I can't quite believe this. Let's check the players out. Star players been Bernardo Silva. Cristiano Ronaldo's dropped off a little bit. Maybe it's just been goals that have been hard to come by. Ronaldo got 18, 12. I was going to say 12 for Fabio Silva, but he's been out on loan. Joao Felix got 17. They were the only 2 players to hit double figures. I mean, I know hitting double figures is hard enough as it is, but this just seems a bit disappointing. Now is there a bit of a top-heavy team? I mean, you've got Ronaldo, Joao Felix, Jota, Trincao, Guedes, all trying to get into the attack. I mean, Trincao's only started 1 game all season. Guedes only started 4. Maybe it's just a bit of a top-heavy team. I mean, the best defensive player, William Carvalho there, 7.33 average rating. Ruben Dias hasn't really played at the level he is in reality. I mean, he's at Van Dijk levels in reality. Although he was good the 2 seasons prior. It was just this year he was a bit more disappointing. Anthony Lopez has been replacing Patricio in goal. Don't know why they've changed that. I mean, I would always stick with Patricio personally, but I suppose it's just a matter of choice for the manager. But when I'm looking at the numbers of appearances, it looks like there's been a lot of chopping and changing. Guerrero out of the team, Renato Sanchez in and out of the team. It's just been quite disappointing. With the new manager, he's been playing a 4-3-3. Bernardo Silva on the right, Ronaldo on the left, and Joao Felix on the left. Bernardo Silva on the right, Cristiano Ronaldo on the left, and Joao Felix through the middle. I mean, the one problem with that is that Ronaldo on the left wing is not going to work back at all. It means you've got Neto sitting on the bench, you've got Jota sitting on the bench. So much talent effectively just being wasted. To be honest, I thought this Wolves team, considering the amount of talent they had, with the Portuguese national team, I thought they could have been challenging for the title. But alas, they haven't even got higher than 6th. They didn't even make the Champions League. So basically, that tells you all you need to know about Portugal. England fans, we need not worry for the Euros. We've got this in the bloody bag. But that is where we're going to leave things. Wolves had 3 seasons as the Portuguese national team, and it just hasn't really worked out for them at all. 2 solid seasons, 2 7th places, 1 in European football, the European Conference League. But season 3 has ended in tears. Well, kind of tears. We've had more manager seconds than we've had high notes. And unfortunately, they just haven't lived up to the hype. So Wolves fans, maybe you've got enough Portuguese players as it is right now. With Neves, Pedence, that's probably enough. You're probably alright for them. Because add any more, and it doesn't make you any happier. But we will leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you've got any other experiments like this, if you want me to send all the Spain players to Leicester, all the Wales players to Wrexham, whatever, let me know in the comments down below. I'll be more than happy to oblige. Until next time, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo. And as always, we will see you around.